This setup is one complete rock gold and gold tailing CIP plant flowchart, including feeding, crushing system, grinding system, gravity separation, leaching process, activated carbon adsorption process, gold-loaded carbon desorption and electrolytic stage, and tailing water recycle system. The plant processing capacity can be customized as per customer's requirement, like 120 TPD, 200 TPD, 300 TPD, etc. Below is the detailed explanation for this flowchart. 1. Feeding plus crushing system, processing raw ore. The raw gold stone feed into a big hopper via excavator. There is one chute feeder under the hopper, which can feed the material into the jaw crusher evenly. The hopper can be made at the mine site by clients themselves according to the real situation. The jaw crusher crush rock smaller size. The output from jaw crusher transport to next fine jaw crusher by belt conveyor. The fine jaw crusher crushes rock to below 20 mm. The output from fine jaw crusher transport to next vibrating screen by belt conveyor. The larger than 20 mm material back to fine jaw crusher for crushing again. The smaller than 20 mm output goes to a transfer hopper via belt conveyor. There is one electromagnetic vibration feeder under the transfer hopper as well. It's also for buffering and feeding the material evenly. Transport the fine gravel to the ball mill by a conveyor. 2. Grinding system. When processing rock ore, the first ball mill for grinding the crushed gravel into fine powder to release the inside gold from rock. The output of ball mill go to a spiral classifier for classification coarse particles and fine particles. The coarse particles are underflow of spiral classifier which go back to ball mill for regrinding. The fine particles are the overflow of spiral classifier which go to gravity separation machine, centrifugal concentrator plus shaking table for recovering already liberated gold after ground by ball mill. The gravity tailing are pumped to hydrocyclone for further classification out larger than 200 mm and less than 200 nor mesh. Under 200 nor mesh are pumped to thickener. Above 200 nor mesh go to second ball mill for further grinding. When processing tailing, the tailing materials are unloaded to a storage of belt feeder by loader, then through belt feeder evenly feeding to belt conveyor, then to the second ball mill for grinding to fine powdered size. The output of second ball mill are pumped to cyclone for classification out smaller than 200 mesh and larger than 200 mesh. Under 200 mesh are pumped to thickener. Above 200 mesh go back to second ball mill for further grinding. 3. Gravity separation. The gravity separation machine included a centrifugal concentrator and a shaking table in the flowchart. The overflow of spiral classifier go to centrifugal concentrator for recovering already liberated gold. The gold concentrate from centrifugal concentrator go on shaking table for further separation. The gravity tailing from centrifugal concentrator and shaking table are pumped to cyclone for classification, coarse particles and fine particles. Coarse particles are underflow of cyclone which go back to second ball mill for grinding again. Fine particles are overflow of cyclone which are pumped to leaching process. 4. Leaching process. The small fine powder from the spiral classifier will go to a slurry tank. Use slurry pump to pump the slurry into a thickener. Before the slurry is transported into the thickener, there is one safety screen to screen some waste first. The underscreen will go to the inside thickener directly. At the same time, the flocculant is required to add for the thickener. The overflow water from the thickener goes to settling pond, then the water can be recycled after sedimentation. The underflow from the thickener will flow into a mixing tank for mixing slurry and chemicals, then use slurry pump to pump the material into leaching tank. 5. Activated carbon adsorption process. 7 PC's double impeller adsorption agitation tank with carbon and roots blower work for adsorption agitation tank. The tank quantity and size depends on the process capacity. 6. Gold-loaded carbon desorption and electrolytic stage. The gold-loaded carbon will be transported to a linear vibration screen to remove trash, then gold-loaded carbon will go to normal temperature and normal pressure. Desorption electrolysis system will get gold mud after electrolytic, then dry gold mud in drying oven. Finally, use a gold smelting furnace for melting it gold bar. 7. Tailing water recycle system. The tailing from adsorption agitation tanks will go to a liner vibrating screen for screening carbon first. The underscreen goes to the undermixing tank for making a suitable density. Then use a high-pressure slurry pump to feed the tailing slurry into the plate filter press machine for filtering and recycling the water. And tailing will be dried and transport away. If do not need to recycle the water and make dry tailing. Firstly, put some bleaching powder in the tailing slurry tank to treat the acidic chemicals, so as to reduce the chemical influence to environment, then tailings can be discharged to far away by channel. The advantage of this flow chart: 1. It is suitable for any type of gold rocks and gold tailing materials. 2. It has very high crushing rate because it uses 2 stages of jaw crusher and vibrating screen to form a closed crushing circuit. 3. It can fast recover a part of liberated gold from ball mill with gravity separation machine. 4. Gravity tailing are sent to leaching and adsorption process, uses CIP plant to recover maximum gold. 5. Has the best gold recovery rate 95%.